It's like putting steak sauce on a good steak, you know?
Popcorn without butter isn't popcorn. Then it's just like you eat the popcorn because it's with butter, and then you feel like crap when you're not eating it.
Yeah, I love that when George R. R. Martin was doing the tour of the theater he owns in New Mexico. He's like, best way to watch a movie, large popcorn with butter, cherry Coke. I'm like, this guy, George, you be eating good.
That sounds like a dream.
That's the perfect mix.
Maybe a slushie with the Coke. I'm not a big slushie guy, though. I know you and Nash are.
I haven't gotten a slushie in years.
I feel like the last movie I've seen with you guys, you got a slushie. Skinamarink? You guys got slushies, didn't you?
I don't think we got slushies. Nash probably did.
I think Nash did get a slushie for Skinamarink.
I mean, that is a slushie movie, though.
Oh, God. That is like a lentil movie.
Soup and lentils?
Yeah.
Nah, Dune 2 already got it planned out. I'm getting the largest popcorn I possibly can get.
Oh, that's my first movie back in the theaters from Skinamarink. Is Dune 2.
Damn.
I'm going off.
You're a real film head, dude.
Big.
Catching
big
all the
film head.
movies.
Can we count
that
Dune
is
as
a
my
crazy gap
from the movie theaters?
Not to say that like it's a long time, but like the fact that it's Skinamarink to Dune 2.
I haven't been to the theater in a while, actually, either. I think the last one was Wonka.
How was Wonka?
It sucked.
I'm trying
That's
to think
upsetting.
the last movie I watched in a theater. Oh, Dune. I saw it in IMAX.
You saw
That was
Dune
nice of
recently
them.
in theater?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I went to go. They put it out in theaters. They put it in IMAX. But before that, it was a long time. It was the Iron Claw. Everybody's talking about the Dune bucket.
What does that mean?
You
haven't seen the Dune bucket?
It's only for
No, it's
AMC, actually, but
What,
That
like the
kinda
Dune
sucks.
bucket
They get
for
all
popcorn?
the good stuff. Yeah, it looks like a
worm.
sexual thing. Like the worm is going to top you off. And everybody's joking about putting their hand in the Dune bucket.
It's just inconvenient.
That would be a good top from the worm.
It does.
It's like when I put my hand in popcorn, I want to take the most possible out of it. I don't want to be restricted by the bucket at all. But I am a sucker for promotional popcorn buckets and cups. I have so many of them in my apartment that I just never use. But I'll
I'm a
always
sucker
buy
to
them.
get them, and then I never use them after. It's just a
Oh,
waste
yeah,
of like
no.
an extra $4.
Right behind me, I have Batman and Spider-Verse. I think I have Doctor Strange somewhere. Rogue One
What's
is
your
where I
favorite
keep all
one?
my chains. Change.
I was
So-
going to say, you're iced up?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a favorite bucket?
That'd be actually so sick. I might start getting iced up just so I can just put them all in my Rogue One popcorn bucket.
I feel like not enough people wear chains these days.
It's like, oh man, I have nowhere to put my popcorn. It's like, oh no, why don't you use your Rogue One bucket? Oh, you mean my ice bucket?
You mean the bling bucket? Come on.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's where I keep all my bling. Sorry, man, can't use that.
Oh man, I didn't know you were chill like that. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Bo Oliver, joined here today with Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and Teddy. And we are back to talk about, you see it from the title, Dune. We're gearing up for Dune Part 2, and we'll probably be releasing our review of that tomorrow, which will only feature me and Aaron, because Teddy, you're going, well, technically right now you're in the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, if you're doing it, no, I'm going Monday.
Oh,
Yeah.
so can you make it Sunday night? I
What
mean, you
time?
still won't be on the review because we're going to review it Monday
Well,
morning.
there's
unless we do
probably
this.
no seats left.
Oh, Aaron, I thought you grabbed 2 tickets.
Yeah, one for me, one for you.
Oh,
Aaron
no, I
never
grabbed
thinks
my
of
own
me,
ticket.
Ever. It doesn't matter if he'll say now that I'm going away. He'll never get me a ticket ever.
See,
He'll
he
never
could
just
have
think of me.
used that. He could have waited and he could have spun that as he was thinking of you. Because I thought that's why he grabbed 2. I thought he was
No.
going for the Teddy ticket.
Why would I get? No, I got 2 for us. Why
I
would
know, but
finish
I
it.
had already
Finish the
I
sentence.
got mine.
Finish the sentence you were going to say.
Teddy, you haven't been to a movie theater, like you said, since Skinamarink. You never, to think that you're going to come to a movie is insanity.
A movie like this isn't insanity. A movie like Skinamarink is insanity. And
you,
I made
you
it
didn't
there.
you haven't seen Oppenheimer yet.
The fuck's that got to do with it?
I don't know, just the other biggest fucking movie of the year. So why is it a
don't make
reach for you
excuses.
not to see Dune 2 when you haven't seen Oppenheimer? You didn't see you don't see
Barbie?
movies. Yeah.
Barbie was a big blockbuster hit.
Oh, I don't know. It made a fucking shit ton of money.
All right, all I'm saying is you could have asked. Ruben asked. Or Bo asked. Oh, damn it.
No,
you're
it's
still
fun
Bo.
at this point. They know.
Are you still Bo?
Who the fuck knows at this point?
It's
But-
fun for the lore.
Yeah. What do we do?
Just apologize for not thinking of me at all. Just say my bad.
No,
bad,
I'm
man.
not going to apologize. Do you want to come?
I can't. But
Okay. Should I
maybe I
refund one
can.
of the
What time's the
tickets,
movie?
or do you want to refund your ticket and take Teddy's?
What time is the movie?
7:30.
No, I'm not going to make that.
Okay.
God, it's so good to have you back, man. I'll tell you what, it's fun to go and me and Aaron because it's a bit more chill. But when you're here, it just you never know what we're gonna get.
Been a lot of backhanded compliments coming around.
Not one
Well, I'm
compliment.
just saying
Everything's
bit-
backhanded.
Yeah.
Everything.
No, I was saying it's fun. I'm saying
he likes my company because I'm like comic relief,
Yeah, no, you're literally the court jester.
not for my riveting
Oh,
thoughts.
well, that's just
Yeah.
mean. Comic relief.
That's crazy.
It's a fun thing to be comic relief. That you're the C-3PO of Nerd Soup.
I'll take that.
What, the robot that speaks millions of languages? That's Teddy.
And we're off to a terrible start right now.
Ted, you've been doing Duolingo, right?
No, my dad failed me growing up. He didn't teach me Italian.
Your dad speaks it fluently?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, he dropped the ball.
Mamma mia. All right, let's get into this Dune review. Dune Revisited. It's fun. It's it's only been out for 3 years, but we're already looking back on it. It's a movie for a long time that was considered unfilmable, and then Denis Villeneuve said, I guess you guys don't know what I'm capable of, and he filmed it, and it turned out to be a very good movie that many people enjoyed. And based on the early tracking, it looks like Dune Part 2 is going to be an even bigger hit. So yeah, let's just talk a little bit about Dune.
I'll start it. I'm going to be probably pretty short. No, not short, but Aaron will get more into it. I'll just give my initial thoughts.
That puts a lot of pressure on me.
I haven't seen it since it dropped, and even then it was kind of shoddy because I was kind of falling asleep. But watching it now, I heard all the hype about it and how good it was. I was just like agreed. But after watching it was like I can fucking totally see why everyone loved this movie. It was so good, and call me crazy, but I don't think there was that great of acting performances, and that says a lot about the movie itself because for how good it is and the acting. Which the acting wasn't bad. I'm just saying there wasn't like a big standout. Says a lot about Villeneuve and his storytelling ability.
No, I think Arrakis is like more the star of the show, or just the settings. I did notice that too when I was watching it, and spent like just talking about Wonka before. I'm like, is Chalamet like that? Is he good in this? Because I didn't think he was good in Wonka. I know he's a good actor, but and I hear his performance in Part 2 is really good as well. But I didn't know if I should attribute that more to just some of the things that are being said and talked about at certain parts of the movie are just a little awkward to, I guess, say, and it doesn't feel natural. But a couple of times I'm like, ooh. But overall, I do think the cast.
But is that his acting though? Like, because he is a boy that's in this new world, and he has to try and like get accustomed to it quick. So it's like, I mean,
no, some of the delivery sounded off to me. I don't know if I was just looking too much into things, but overall, I think it was a fine performance, and that's one of the biggest things leading up to this movie when it first came out. Just the cast list. It seemed like every day, like another heavy hitter was being added to this world, and they're doing the same with the sequel, but. I left watching this one again kind of in the same place I was when I first saw it. Like, I thought it looked tremendous. Like, Villeneuve, like Ruben said before, like, filming what was once thought to be unfilmable and just doing an excellent job directing and creating this world. It's always my highest praise for world building when it comes to fantasy and television or movies is like, I'm so wrapped up into it that I'll spend the next 3 hours in bed, like on YouTube, just going through lore of Dune, which I did after watching this one again. It is a fucking massive, massive world that is really interesting when you really like dig deep into like why things the way they are and how this current situation came to be. But I can see why people might think it's unfilmable when you get all that information, but he did a good job of really taking what was most needed for the story and implementing it into the film. And that's why I'm so excited for Part 2. I still have it rated around the same. I do think there are some criticisms that are valid when it comes to it not really feeling like a complete movie, more of a part one rather than its own thing. But I think that all goes away once part two comes out, and if it's on the same level or surpasses the first one and really paints a complete picture, I think some of those people who have that opinion, like myself, will kind of detract from that and just be like, okay, now that I see the whole thing, this is just one big fucking giant masterpiece.
Yeah, but this got put out as a part one, though, wasn't it? Or
right, sure. Did you like? I guess in the sense of like, if you watch any of the Lord of the Rings or maybe some of the original Star Wars, like A New Hope, Empire, like they feel like, even though they are parts of a trilogy, part one and part two, removed from that trilogy, they'd still work as a complete movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think
Dune, like this one needs part two to feel finished, is what you're saying.
Right. And that's, I don't know, it's tough.
It's not a bad thing, though.
No, I'm not. It's not. But it is something that a lot of people have pointed out and could kind of, feel unfulfilled at the end. But after watching it, once the movie ended, I was just made me more excited and amped for part two. And it also helps that 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is fucking incredible for a movie like this.
High though, man. I don't like that. Now I got expectations going.
Dude, I would have been like, I would have been excited for like anything over an 80. And I think the first one was like an 83. So like to come out at 95 early on and then get even higher to a 98, I was like, okay, this shit's about to fucking rock.
Yeah, that's kind of the point, my infamous point about Game of Thrones Season 8, that it was going to be good no matter what, because there was just so much epic stuff on the horizon. And I think it looks like Villeneuve has completely nailed that, because a lot of the reviews have been saying the action has improved. And I think sometimes in the part one, the action feels a little weightless, which is also fine because, it is an action movie, but he nails the sets and the settings and the costuming, and the world is just, you just get totally lost in it. So when those action moments happen, I was a little disappointed when watching it the first time, but like I said, it seems like he really improves on that. And there's some epic moments that we have waiting in store for part two. But going to Teddy's point about the cast, it is kind of funny how Momoa ends up being the best performance of the movie, just on every watch. Brolin's my least favorite casting choice because the character was changed so much. Gurney Halleck in the book is supposed to be like out of shape, louder, is always quoting the Bible. He's playing his little instrument all the time. He's just more of a colorful character, and I think that
how Momoa's character was.
Yeah, Momoa has way more personality than Gurney, and Gurney is just like military guy.
Yeah.
Which is cool because people see Josh Brolin and they're like, yeah, he's perfect to just play a hardened military guy. Like he's known as the strongest fighter outside of Jessica. So, but yeah, Momoa's just got the most personality. Space cowboy. You just want to follow him across the world, across the galaxy.
Oh, I'd love a little spinoff for the 2 weeks he was there in Arrakis.
Yeah, dude. I love that first scene when Paul's telling him, the first scene that he has with Paul when he's like, I saw your death and I also saw that you found the Fremen. And, and then you skip ahead and he comes back with Stilgar. That was like, oh man, what did he end up doing to win them over? And I guess he just killed one of them in a one-on-one fight. But he's awesome. And I also think like the leads are fine for the most part. Oscar Isaac, to me, is also a standout. It almost at times it feels more like Duke Leto's movie than Paul's. And then Charlene Rampling as the Reverend Mother. She's just...
oh, she was good.
Yeah, you could tell that that's a woman pulling the strings behind the scenes. When she bitches out the Harkonnen Mentat, she's like, the creature must leave. He's like, yeah, it's okay. She doesn't speak our language. And he's, get out.
Well, I think that's one of my favorite parts of the movie. The idea of the Benny Gesserit and the string pulling behind the scenes is like, that's what I live for.
Yeah, that's fun. The politics there are, like you said, the world is so big, so there's a lot to read about of how the world got to this point, and you just don't know what everybody wants.
How pissed off would you be if you're waiting for Messiah and fucking Timothée Chalamet shows up?
I would question it too.
I'm like, I want that guy. I want Momoa. That's
imagine
that's a Messiah.
That's the guy.
Imagine the poor bastard that challenged Momoa.
Oh god, the Fremen.
Yeah.
Well, even like Jamis challenging Paul, he thought shit was going to be sweet. Once again, he's like, oh, this is the Messiah, this skinny kid. And he just tap danced on him.
Yo, the choreography, I'll give him that. The choreography was nasty.
The last fight's the best, I think, action moment. I really loved that choreography.
No, I like
And just the weight
Momoa in that
behind it.
tunnel.
He's such a badass dude. Oh my god, Timothy Chalamet, Paul. I was texting Ruben about this. I needed a war cry out of Paul at the end of that. I needed a scream or something when he kills Jameis.
Yeah, and that's great because of all the, emotional weight behind it.
Yeah.
He's hearing the voices of the Benny Gesserit, kill the
Need
boy,
like a
become
gladiator
the man.
moment. Are you not entertained?
And the way they incorporated the visions that he sees with the spice, that, he's having all these visions of Jameis, that he's going to help him out. He's going to teach him the ways of the desert. And that's why he keeps waiting for him to yield. Like, we're supposed to become buddies. So when they have that embrace before Jameis dies, that's why it's my favorite scene of the movie, because they became friends for 5 seconds. And it goes back to when the Reverend Mother asks him, do you always dream things the same way? And he says, not exactly. So not only is he seeing the future, but he's seeing alternate versions of a future that he's going to create.
I just didn't get it because in his visions, or not even in the visions, the Benny Gesserit was saying that he has to die to become the Kwisatz Haderach. I think I said it right.
No, you nailed it.
Hell yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, I thought he was gonna get stabbed and then maybe not morph into him, but like, I guess, get the power of the Kwisatz Haderach. But
right,
I don't know,
more metaphorical.
All right, now you're just showing off.
I read the book.
Another thing about the Lisan Al Gaib.
You did read half the book. I forgot about that.
Well, I only read the first part.
You've got a few days to read to read the rest of it.
How many pages is that?
About 400 or 500.
Oh, it's light.
I can audiobook that.
Yeah, I guess more metaphorical because he also, when he breaks down in the tent and he's telling Jessica, I'm seeing these horrifying visions of this holy war that we're going to wage, and in order to become that, you need to be brutal. You need to be willing to take lives that you saw in the future as people that were going to be your friends, because that's the role of being a duke, of being a conqueror, of being a king. And Paul struggling with that throughout the movie, I think that's actually one of the stronger aspects. When you read Paul in the book, he's kind of exactly how you envision him. When it comes to Chalamet's performance, just an awkward, skinny kid who's also very, very powerful and deadly because he's had all these great trainers and mentors. Right. The little details, like when he's able to put on his still suit without being shown the right way to do it. And the way, once again, going back to the Benny Gesserit planting the seeds that the Messiah is coming, it's fun because prophecy, who knows where these prophecies come from? It's probably some random guy doing spice. And maybe, Paul is the chosen one based on some guy's prophecy, but does that make him a god? I guess that's for everyone to decide.
But it's also his mom Jessica trying to play him, and he can see his mom trying to play him, where it's like they're going there to spread rumors about him, and he knows that, and he's not playing dumb, Like he's not
right.
He's not going there thinking that when he gets there, they see him and like, oh damn, they really do think I'm him. Like they know that they're being told. Like, they're seeing what they're being told.
Right, exactly. Yeah, he pushes back on that. He's like, I can see through your politicking. But throughout the movie, he is becoming less and less hesitant to take on that role. And that's just going to be so fun to watch. In part 2, obviously, being with the Fremen and learning about the desert, is he going to lose even more of who he was, just as the kid in training versus the actual king in action?
I don't know. I feel like he kind of was feeling himself, though, especially when they're in that hideout after they get attacked by the Harkonnens. And he's like, oh, yeah, the Emperor has a daughter, right? I guess I'll be the fucking king.
I mean,
I guess I'll rule the fucking... Yeah.
I don't want to, but,
Like, he was kind of feeling himself at that point. But, yeah, it is intriguing to see where this character is going to go, especially, like, someone like me who hasn't really read into the books and doesn't necessarily know what's going to happen in the future, just seeing how everything he plays out, how he ingratiates himself into the Fremen, and just how everything's going to play out. Because, I mean, on the surface, you can look at it as like, yeah, you can put some dots like, yeah, Harkonnens are going to come back, or Paul's going to try to align himself with the Fremens to kind of take back Arrakis and get the Fremen out of there. But there's so many other things at play here, and so many other, I think, larger things removed from just that struggle of House Harkonnen and House Atreides. So I think that's what I'm looking forward more to seeing and kind of them fleshing out in part 2.
So is there no more House Atreides? Like, is there still House Atreides? Or are they pretty much done now?
Dude, Paul's alive. Goes back to the old. You can conquer the kingdom, but if the king's
they
alive,
got no army though. They got no army.
We'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah.
But like going back to the performances, dude. Like, no joke, he's in the movie for 2 minutes. But I think the guy who played the Herald of the Change, Benjamin Clementine, incredible voice. And I looked him up, and apparently he's a singer. So I guess that's why he has such a good voice. But the way he delivers, like, House Atreides will take control of Arrakis.
No, I love that whole sequence and also like just I don't know what it is. It's Josh Brolin. He just has such a great voice, but like the way they like, I guess I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like so silent, and his voice is just booming in this like silent little ceremony, and then he comes out, a big voice guy.
Josh Brolin, man, voice of Thanos, all-time voice. And like Thurfir Hawat, he's obviously got way more to do in the books. You can't touch on everything. He's someone where his presence isn't as felt as I think it could have been. And Dr. Yue, his whole betrayal, that's, once again, you have the benefit of the internal monologue in the book, but you don't really feel the anxiety of what he's doing and the betrayal and the doubt and the indecision, should I do this, shouldn't I? I feel like that could have been, you don't even need to add more scenes, but just a moment of him, like when he's talking to the Baron, he just, it's a very just kind of normal exchange. Give me some tears. Give me some jitters. Where's my wife? You've promised me. There's really not much to that character. And such a fantastic actor too, Chang Chen. So that's a little bit of a waste. And like I said, with Gurney, God, I'm just envisioning, John Goodman 20 years ago would have been perfect for that role. Because he's just he's supposed to be just like a bull, like an unlikely fighter. And that's just
John
always going to be.
Jeez.
20 years ago, not now.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's really tough, and that's like what I was talking about before with just a massive world. It is so hard to kind of get everything into there without your movie feeling cluttered. Like rewatching it, I'm like, I don't even know how David Lynch even. I mean, it's not a great movie, but like to attempt to fit everything into the time that he did, like that's insane. Even here, I was just like, what, 2.5 hours for part 1, another 2.5 for part 2. I'm like, that's still enough time? You're going to have to rework things and not really get in depth upon certain things.
Yeah, once again, Lynch's Dune, Gurney Halleck is Patrick Stewart, so he's not a big fat fighting guy. But I think he's actually better in the role. And I think Lynch handled his actors better than Villeneuve did. Because that's also a criticism you get for Villeneuve's other movies as well. Is the spectacle's great, the visuals are great. And sometimes the acting, it's not that he's incapable of getting great performances out of his actors, but sometimes it's like the superstars kind of hold back the movie. And that's a criticism I still feel applies to Dune. Yeah.
Well, like I was saying with Chalamet, I think at times he's really good, but some of his delivery at certain times. And it's always like when he is trying to say something awkward, like when he's running out, when he first gets to Arrakis to see...
Thurfir Hawa.
Yeah. And then, the whole like, Grandpa fought bulls for sport. It's kind of,
yes.
It seems hard for him to get it out at times. But I think in moments like when he was in the tent and at the end of the movie, I think he delivered a strong performance there. So
yeah, and a lot of people love Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica. I think that's just casting that's so good.
Lady Jessica or Rebecca Ferguson?
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, join the club, buddy.
That's exactly what I told him. I was like, yeah, get in line. Like I said, that's one of those castings where she's such a great actress. She just fits the role perfectly. That's exactly who you envision as Lady Jessica, someone who's beautiful but still mysterious, powerful. My favorite moment with her is when Stilgar underestimates her and she immediately disarms him and he apologizes.
I know it's like what he's trying to do, Paul, like trying to get the high ground and like scope it out.
Oh, when he climbs up, it's funny.
But when they start fighting, he just fucking bails. It's so fucking funny to me. And he gets
was
there like
making
30. He gets there like 30 seconds later. It's
Just
like,
out of
I
breath.
guess he
He was
knows.
making moves.
He just fucking bounce. I guess he knows his mom could throw it down like that, but it's just a funny visual.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, that's not funny, but it's fun the way they communicate through the sign language, the different languages, the unspoken communication between the two of them. That's the tragedy of Paul's character, and we've seen this many times with the royal successor. That he's never really had a childhood. He's got no friends. He's just essentially an adult as a kid. So you just see how far that training has gone, where this is everything he's been prepared for.
Yeah, but
he
he's also
says that
being
he's been turned
taught
into a freak.
He's being taught that Benny Gesserit, he's got his dad on him about becoming he's the Duke. He's got a lot as a 14-year-old. How old is he? 16?
I like to imagine him as like 18, 19 in the movie.
Well, still a teenager
Yeah.
though. But imagine all that pressure on you, being taught the ways of the Benny Gesserit, and then you get your dad trying to make you king.
Well, the
No,
Gum
his
Jabbar
dad.
scene, you know, he's when they have to test him to see if he's going to pull his hand out. They were ready to kill him. They were like, "You have too much power. If you can't control your emotions, control your instincts, we're gonna just take you out."
Right
Oh,
away.
immediately.
Like, what the fuck was that? Kidding me?
Immediately
doing?
stabbed in the neck.
The Gunjavar.
Yeah, she says you have more than one birthright, and she's just awesome in every scene. The voice is perfect.
No,
She's so
the
mean to
voices when
everybody.
they take control is so scary when they do it. Freaks me out. Like, it makes me want to do what they were telling them to do. Like that scene in the copter, the helicopter, or whatever.
Oh yeah, the voice is so well done, dude. The sound design there with all the different Benny Gesserit voices coming into one.
Yeah, the thing about me is Rebecca Ferguson, she wouldn't even have to use the voice. She tells me to kill myself. I'm out of here. Like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it almost feels like a waste. Like, you want me to do any other fucked up shit before I kill myself? Like, because,
just tell
I'm
me
willing
what to do.
anything.
I'll just, yeah.
And people, Skarsgård as Stellan Skarsgård, Daddy Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen. It's fun. The design of the character. I think the lines that he has, he does steal those scenes. He's got the perfect voice for it. So
he'll have more to do in 2, right?
Yes.
I just feel like a lot of these players, like a lot of these characters, like it wasn't like you guys said, this huge list, and it was really just a movie between Lady Jessica, Leto, and Paul. And you have all these big names.
I wish we had more of him.
Me too.
And it's like, I'm not saying that I would rather a series, even though I think it's probably a better way to tell this story, because I do love that it is a big appointment movie theater type movie. But getting more into that family dynamic, more of who that character is, like when he dies, like it's sad and all, but I'm kind of left like, I wish we had more.
We needed more from him.
Like I'm just barely scratching the surface on like who you are as a father, as a leader. It's like you could tell who he can like bridge some of the gaps, just how he's respected and how the people close to him seem to really respect him and stuff like that. Like you said, and that probably could have been fleshed out a little better within the confines of a movie. Like you said, with the doctor and his reluctance potentially and of betraying House Atreides. Like you said, when he is brought into the Harkonnens, he doesn't look like a man that just betrayed someone that he reveres and has the utmost respect for. And they do a little bit when he gives him the fake tooth and everything like that. And I get that. And I just think that could have hit a little bit more harder while also giving more characterization to Duke Leto.
Yeah,
I think we got all we need to know about him with that scene with Paul when he tells him, if you don't want the ring, it's okay.
That's a great scene, dude.
He ring
How many
chasing
times?
pilot.
Yeah, but it's just like how many times I wasn't expecting that response from him. It's like, because how many times do you see the father push? It's like the same story. The father pushes his son to become king, and he never wants it, and then the dad dies. At least this one, his dad accepts Paul for who he is, and that he might not want it.
The Ned Stark dads always have to die. Right. Because they're too good of people to keep alive. But there was one scene that they did film, and he said he's never going to release deleted scenes, which is unfortunate. But it's a big dinner scene when they invite over all the elites of Arrakis, and he's schmoozing, he's trying to make relationships. So it's not only with the Fremen, it's with the the other nobles that are on Arrakis. And I wish that there would be an extended cut. I don't think it takes away from the theatrical version. There are plenty of movies that exist in 2 or 3 different cuts, and obviously sometimes one is going to be better than the other. So it's unfortunate that they're never going to release that. But I think that a scene like that went a long way. And it also features Gurney Halleck just randomly performing a drunken song in the middle of the dinner. And everyone's like, who the hell is this fat lunatic?
You're big on Gurney Halleck, huh?
Oh, dude, but that's the thing. In the book, like, Gurney is Paul's guy. Like, Duke's obviously a great dad. Duke Leto's a great dad, but he had to do a lot leading Caladan and now Arrakis. So Gurney was always like the surrogate father, and he was always closest with Paul.
Damn, so you were very excited for a little Gurney show, and they gave you nothing.
Well, I knew once they casted Brolin, I was like, they're going to just make him serious cardboard cutout military guy.
Without Gurney, without that little military, he loses to Jameis.
No, he's definitely important. And that's right out of the books, too, that little scene, Great line delivery from Chalamet is when he's tripping in the middle of the desert during the mining scene. He's like, I hear your footsteps, old man. That jump scare of when the sound comes back in when he grabs him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
That's also just an incredible sequence, dude. The spice mining sequence.
Mm-hmm.
God, It's so epic, and the score is perfect. It sounds like Lawrence of Arabia. It's also perfectly timed up when they're saying the worm's going to be here in 2 minutes. If you time it, it's exactly 2 minutes when the worm gets there.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Love that shit. Nothing pisses me off. Like, One Piece will say
that. Really
that
does make me feel good.
A show like One Piece will be like, 2 minutes, and it'll be fucking 6 episodes, and it drives me fucking insane.
Anime time is 2 minutes is an entire arc.
Bro, I seen there was a meme of Goku going Super Saiyan, and there was like in the comments, it was like that was like, I waited 5 episodes for
that. Man, I need to get my hands on some spice. That shit looks awesome.
Yeah, it does, dude.
I don't know if I missed this in the movie though. What was Paul's deal with the spice? Like,
he's just very sensitive to it.
Sensitive to it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So the spice does give you abilities to. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So you could see kind of some of the Benny Gesserit voices, they imply that he's not fully awakened yet. So the reaction, he doesn't have it under control. But by the end of the movie...
Chalamet? Oof. On spice?
Yeah.
A spice
we won't have to imagine for too much longer.
Well, I do.
My boy's spiced up.
Yeah, and it's cool. That's the big. That's what the movie's about. It's about these outsiders using this planet for the resource of spice, which powers everything. That's how people get around. That's how space navigators are able to read the stars in order to fly from planet to planet and galaxy to galaxy. And I think that they do a good enough job letting the audience in on that. And that's going to be something that they emphasize way more in part 2.
I don't know. I kind of like that it's pretty vague. I was like reading up on it, like knowing that it helps, like rich people are addicted to it and they have to keep taking it or they'll die, but it also helps you live longer. It's like cocaine and oil, basically combined in one, because it's like super addicting and it really makes the world go round. But I kind of like, it's just spice. It's just this mysterious substance on this planet, and you kind of, that mystery to it is pretty intriguing. It is something where, I kind of like the mystery surrounding it.
Yeah. They give you just enough to know, like, this is the spice planet. It's got a lot of spice. It's valuable.
Well, even the whole thing of, like, I guess, what are they trying to, they're like, the thwarted attempts to terraform Arrakis.
Right, yeah. As soon as they found the spice, they were like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Another great scene is when he asks him about the plants that he's watering, saying, I didn't know they were native. He's like, they're not. We have to feed them 5 times the water that every man drinks every day. And Paul's like, why are we wasting so much water? And he's like, because they're sacred to us. It's about our dream to one day terraform Arrakis and make it into a place that's way more habitable.
Man comes in, wants to rip out sacred bushes.
Right, the politics there aren't subtle. This idea that they can't have a place they can't even make this planet habitable for the people who have lived there because there's this valuable resource there that all the outsiders want to mine. And a resource that they, like Aaron said, the rich people are abusing it. They're not even using it to its, its true potential.
No, what Arrakis needs to do and the Fremen need to do is start attacking and making it very hard for them to get the spice, and then they can get rewarded. Like, they can get compensated for it. They're not using their planet,
Running for president of Arrakis?
I should.
Yeah, and that's Duke Leto's saying we'll never invade your land. Like, your territory will always belong to you, even if duty compels me to go into the desert.
So what's the problem? We need a spice, guy.
You're already taking that. You've gone I don't know. You've transitioned from revolutionary freedom fighter to colonizer within
like 30 seconds.
Yeah, because I thought maybe they were, they were being ran out of their own, world, but they're not being ran out of the world. Just do you and I'll do me. The fuck?
The Harkonnens kind of made it difficult for them to trust outsiders when they.
I mean, they're back. So.
Yeah. So I hope Teddy finds a oil plot in his backyard and the government just completely wipes him out. And like, oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll sell so fucking fast.
Teddy becomes a sovereign nation. One of my favorite moments is when the Baron is just when he's in that hot tub of recovery goo.
Oil.
He's just slurping that shit up.
He's so fucking gross, dude. I couldn't look at him.
When he's eating, I hate like that, and it reminded me of Return of the King. Like, just bad people eating grossly.
Yeah.
That noise.
Oh, God.
So gross.
Get that man a wet towel to clean his hands.
Oh, dude, you know what I love fucking sound-wise? When they were talking, the Reverend Mother Harkonnen, Baron, and
with the silencer?
Yeah, that was sick, dude.
That's awesome.
You just see the subtitles and you can't hear nothing. Then it goes to the inside of it.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a great scene, dude. And I love the Baron. As soon as she leaves, no Atreides will live.
Bro, brat, dude.
He immediately went back on his word. And I think I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see Bautista wreck shop. But once again, I think that's something we will see in part 2. Sharon Duncan Brewster, I think, underrated as Light Kynes. Or Light Kynes, another character that they didn't give the character as much to do as they do in the book. Still, you get the vibe that, yeah, she's a bit eccentric because she actually, values the Fremen and understands their culture, and she's accepted in both, I think she says Sietch and Village. Yeah, I think she's good. Like I said, a little underrated because there's so much star power that you kind of don't think of that character as one of the standouts. But for me, I've always enjoyed her performance.
I didn't really get her, though. Like, what was it? She couldn't help anybody, but she was helping them. I don't get it.
So she was in the position of just overseeing the change from Atreides to, the Harkonnens to Atreides, and then report back to the Emperor. And so she doesn't have any power. She's just there to witness it. She does start to meddle.
It is fucking. We got robbed. She was about to ride a worm so fast. We just got that taken away from us.
Oh, yeah, ripped.
Yeah, and in the book they talk about how her father was in the same position as her, and it was his dream as well. It's been something that her family's been working towards for generations. So she believes when she dies, in the book, that she set the Arrakis on the path of eventually becoming terraformed because Paul Atreides will pay them back for their support.
Yeah, it's telling everyone in heaven, yeah, that's me. This is all me. I'm the real hero. What I always forget, it is funny to think about, like, how this is just an extension of our world. Like, Earth exists. That's, like, my favorite part of this.
It does? In this?
Yeah, the Atreides can, I think, trace their heritage back to the Greeks.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I find that's just really cool to me. It's not like this Star Wars, like, other galaxy.
Yeah, they're supposed to be descendants of King Atreus. That's why Atreides.
And that's why the name, like, thousands and thousands of years into the future on distant planets.
Paul.
And we got Paul. Parents are still naming their kids Paul.
Paul.
If you guys had to, do you think you can tap dance across the sand?
No,
I
I'm
love
not.
that, dude. It makes me laugh every time because I just think of Manu Ginobili.
Hey, Nash would be good at it.
He would be good at it.
He would fucking hero all the way through.
I don't know.
Well,
That kind of
dude.
throws me off a little bit. You telling me that sandworm can be anywhere, and me like a little mouse fucking walking in the sand, it'll detect it and come for it. Like,
Well, Teddy, you have heavy steps. You step really hard.
I do have heavy steps.
I walk light so I don't piss the ground off. No, I like that because the worms are one with the desert and they're everywhere.
Oh, right. So there's not just one worm. I'm thinking there's one worm.
No, there
worms.
are a bunch of worms.
Oh, that's brutal then. Oh, Jesus.
Dude,
There's 2 worms in the trailer, right?
Yeah, I think there's actually 3.
3 worms?
And Paul's seeing the mouse in the tutorial video, like the training video, and then actually seeing it when he first
when he wipes the
sends.
sweat and drinks that shit.
Yeah, I love little details like that.
Using what he just saw is on his toes, dude. That's fucking sick. And hiding in the bushes, that's dope.
My boy's self-efficient. Yeah, and I think that's something like going back to when I was talking about just like how you can't include all the details of the world. It being thousands of years into the future and having all this crazy technology, but like, why is it limited in some aspects? And then when you like dig deeper, you find out about the whole computer thing, which I think is an interesting wrinkle, but nothing that's not really fully explained.
Yeah, I like how they don't explain that because even in the book, it's just kind of something that they go into it, but you don't get the full history. They mention it, why computers have been outlawed and why you have all these essentially human computers. That's what Thurfier is supposed to be when he asks him how much is this going to cost, and he just whips up those calculations immediately. And even the Benny Gesserit, they're essentially superhuman supercomputers. I love the Gom Jabbar scene when the Reverend Mother tells him, "Don't worry about the guards. No one's getting past your mom."
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, just a little line here or there to establish, these people they're different. They're essentially wizards. And that's why even Marissa used to complain that Paul Atreides doesn't look like somebody who could fight. And I'm like, well, he's got a lot of magical shit going on, too.
Is that series still happening?
God, at this point, who knows? With the state of Warner Brothers.
Oh, dude, it's pathetic.
I haven't heard much about it.
What, they were making a Dune series?
Yeah, and that's something
Benny
like...
Gesserit.
That's not something I need. Even like with the news with the Aegon the Conqueror series, I've held this opinion for a while now. I prefer that to just be history in the world. And the same thing with the Benny Gesserit. When they say that our plans are, I forget what she said, something like they're designed through generations or something like that. Like we can, we've been at this for a long time. And when you go into those details, it's just like too hard to pin it down and to make it specific. It just takes away from the main story, in my opinion.
No, if you're going to do a one-off series or a series about Dune, I would go into one of the families, the Harkonnen or or even the Freeman or Atreides.
Well, that's the other thing. They're not going to adapt all the novels, but there are like 6 of them. And he said that he wants to adapt the second novel as like a third and final movie. And with the way the story pans out, the live-action Dunes wouldn't be complete without adapting that second novel. But going beyond that, the shit gets really weird. And I don't know if their audiences might not be ready for Dune Messiah, let alone the rest of the books. But to me, Dune Messiah is essential. They have to get to that point. And he said that maybe he wants to take like a 5 to 10 year gap between them.
Oh, give me a break.
Well, I mean, he's got to do you got to let him do other shit.
No, I need Dunes. I need him on Dune 24/7.
I hope he like comes out of this kind of like what Batman did for Nolan.
If this makes close to $1 billion, yeah. He kind of feels like he's in blank check territory already. But
right. But it'll be cool to
huge.
see like the financials back that up too, where it's like, yeah, the studio is going to give him nothing no matter what. It doesn't look like it's going to flop, but like hypothetically, if it did, especially with Blade Runner also, it's like, yeah, the man can direct, but he's not bringing in the buck. So we can't invest $150 million to make whatever he wants.
All right, guys, before we move on to the second half of this podcast, we are going to take a quick break and shout out our sponsor for today's episode, and that would be ExpressVPN. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like riding a bike without wearing safety gear. You never know when a wild turkey is going to run out of the bushes and force you to crash while dislocating your shoulder, leaving you in a sling for months. I'm definitely not speaking from experience. ExpressVPN is the best option for those looking to stay safe on the internet. When you log into public networks, your sensitive data like banking information and passwords are at risk. Hackers can make up to $1,000 per person by selling your personal info on the dark web. But ExpressVPN creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your devices and the internet. Their private network provides a layer of protection that keeps hackers at bay and keeps your sensitive data safe. ExpressVPN is also extremely easy to use. All you have to do is fire up the app, click one button, and you're protected. Plus, it works on all devices like phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay secure on the go. So head on over to expressvpn.com/nerdsoup to secure your online data today. That's expressvpn.com/nerdsoup. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/nerdsoup. And be on the lookout for any wild turkeys. That's my hacker metaphor. Well, let's do some predictions. Where do you guys think Dune Part 2 lands?
What did Dune 1 make?
430?
But that's also COVID, right?
COVID.
So that's a big year then.
And HBO Max, because they
Yeah.
did the simultaneous release.
That's right. I think 800 would be a pretty big success, right?
That's what I'm
say
feeling.
750.
I'll go bigger just to differentiate. I'll go 900. Apparently, it's outpacing... I can't remember what movie they said it was outpacing for IMAX tickets. But that's the benefit of putting this bitch in IMAX. It's Oppenheimer.
Well, I think Oppenheimer.
Oh, yeah. It was Oppenheimer?
I think so.
Yo, what was great about Oppenheimer is they just kept putting that bitch back in IMAX.
I love Oppenheimer, man.
You can
I gotta
check
see
your Regal app and it's just like Oppenheimer's back in theaters. Look at that.
You just mentioned Oppenheimer. I just want to talk about Oppenheimer for an hour.
You know what the problem is with Oppenheimer with me is it's like 3 hours, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
I see that and I get turned off by it.
What? I mean, I would never say this, but I'm only saying it
Not
for
that
you.
I can't watch a 3-hour movie. I'm just saying I guess.
When was the last time you sat down and
watched?
watched a movie, the entire movie? That's the thing. You watch like a 90-minute movie, you're splitting that bitch into two.
That's what I did with Dune. I actually watched it in 3 days. Actually, I finished it last night.
You're like Marissa who wants to watch The Lord of the Rings in 20-minute intervals.
It's not that, it's not that I
wish
can't
Teddy
watch
came
it. It's
on.
just I got a lot going on. Like I end up falling asleep.
I wish we could do this over where Teddy can open up with it's like the pacing was a little off. And an hour later, it's like, I watched it over the span of 3 days.
Well, do that with Oppenheimer, Start it and see when you finish. But the thing with Oppenheimer, dude, it's cliche to say this about long movies when they're good, but that movie does fly by because all the shit, like the good shit, not the good shit, but like the whole, making of the bomb, like it moves, baby. So he said that he filmed it like it was a heist movie. And you really feel it, like he's recruiting the different scientists and they're doing science shit and, there's a setback. It's just like nonstop. It's really fun.
They pushed on the clock. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Nazis are also they're like, yo, the Nazis are making a bomb. We're in a race with the Nazis.
No, I mean, I don't need a justification of the movie. It's just by the time Amelia falls asleep, it's like 8:30. Then I'm starting the movie at 9. And then I'm getting to 12. I ain't making it to 12. If I want to sit down and watch the whole thing,
Cut it in 4s.
There are chapters.
How many chapters are there in it?
I think 3.
I might
Fusion,
work.
fission, and something.
All right, let's go to some fan questions. We got some Dune questions. We got some movie
Nice.
questions. Yeah, let me pull them up.
That's for the fan to decide.
Yay! People, you call up to the show, you better be ready. That's what you're supposed to do. Sitting there arguing and you're trying to spell your name and all of this other stuff. It's not your show, it's my show. I'm giving you the opportunity to speak your mind. Don't call up here unless you got something to say.
Boom, boom.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention too, cinematography. Greg Fraser. Talk about a guy who's making a name for himself. Between this, the Batman, and even the creator, he's awesome.
Yeah. This movie looks fucking incredible.
I think, like, in terms of the scale, Nothing has ever felt bigger in a theater. It's just like when they're walking out for the first time with the bagpipes, it just looks like they look like ants compared to those ships, and it's awesome. Okay, first question here from Gabby. Do you think Dune film trilogy has the capacity to be the best film trilogy ever?
If it is a trilogy, yeah, I think it could be.
I mean, 2 and 3 would have to knock my dick off.
Yeah, we're talking about the best trilogy ever here.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it's got.
I'm just saying that because I think
it has potential, though. She's asking if it has potential, and I think it does.
Well, I think 2 and 3 have to be masterpieces because I don't think 1 is quite masterpiece.
It's good
material.
enough.
No, it's very good. I give it like a 4.5, but like
that's its Return to the Jedi. Now you need A New Hope and Empire.
Yeah. So like, and it's tough too when I think all 3 Lord of the Rings are perfect.
Well, so that's always going to be the best. Nobody's touching that.
You're already, no matter best case scenario, you're going to have 2 out of 3 perfect for Dune.
Oh, so it's a no. So just say no, guy. You don't fucking.
That's what I'm saying. 2 and 3 have to knock. But I can watch part 2 and then rewatch part 1 and be like, oh, now I see this whole picture. You were just showing me the puzzle wasn't done yet. Now that I have a complete picture, I like 1 even more now, and it kind of is the cumulative masterpiece.
Like two could make 1 even better than what it was.
Definitely. And a lot of people already consider 1 to be one of the best movies of all time. I don't. But for a lot of people, it's already hit that mark. Dude, the way people talk about this movie on the internet, I love Villeneuve, but he's becoming like film Twitter's. He's the only director who's ever made a movie. But yeah, a lot of people do put it in that category. But yeah, I mean, if 2, dude, based on the reviews for 2, it looks like 2 is going to do exactly what Aaron said. For people that maybe didn't think 1 was a masterpiece, but 2 is going to be so good that once they watch it, going 1 to 2, it's going to be like one big movie. So it won't really matter, the whole abrupt ending. And then 3, Dune Messiah, not as acclaimed as the first Dune book, but I would argue that it is the perfect ending to the characters' stories.
Does it have like potential, and like maybe the book isn't as good as the first Dune, but there are things there that can be taken from a great director to make it a masterpiece?
Yeah, no, I definitely think so. And I think the book's overhated.
Yeah. It's like when you find like an old house, but like it has good bones, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. That's the thing. The big plot points in Dune Messiah really work. It's just, I think people are a little, frustrated by the execution of the actual story, which is something that could be cleaned up. But like I said, I like Dune Messiah. A lot of people really do like Dune Messiah. So it definitely has the capacity, without a doubt.
It's tough. I like to think that something could one day be like, oh yeah, that was better. But I think just Lord of the Rings has just been my favorite for so long that it's like hard to admit, even if something was better, to be like, yeah, that's actually better.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is just like lightning in a bottle, because you can argue whichever movie you want to pick, legitimately some of the best movies of the 21st century. They're that good. And that's what you need to do when you're talking about best trilogies of all time, because The Dark Knight, people would argue it's one of the better movies of this century, and then Empire Strikes Back is in that conversation for the 20th century, so...
And for Dark Knight, you get it both ways. You have people who hate Dark Knight Rises and people who don't like Batman Begins.
Yeah, The Dark Knight Rises does keep it from those conversations, because it always comes up, and then people always respond with, well, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I never heard that Batman trilogy, though, is best of all time.
I think it's thrown around. When you see those graphics on Twitter, it's like, choose one, the other 3 get deleted forever. It's usually like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Dark Knight, and...
Yeah, that's just because
The Hangover.
You said The Hangover?
Rush Hour might have a better argument, just because Rush Hour doesn't have that sort of, like, Rush Hour 3,
Rush Hour 3 isn't.
Very underrated, in my opinion.
You think so?
I think so, too.
I knew you'd have my back there.
So where's Toy Story at now? Because they have so many. It's still considered.
I honestly think that's...
Toy Story was in those conversations. I mean, you could still take the first 3 and say...
The more I think about it, I think the greatest joke ever in a movie is when he's reading the translator book to pick up the Chinese ladies, and they drive away laughing. He's like, well, why'd they go away? And Jackie Chan's like, you invited them over to come over and sacrifice a small goat. It's like, which word was goat? It's like everything up to that point was perfect, but he's got hung up on goat. It's so fucking funny.
Where'd you go? I bent down, tied my shoe. I look up and you were gone.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to watch those tonight. This question here from Liam. Do you think that the movie Part 2 will focus more on the romance, as marketing indicates, or Paul's journey? Well, I
that was
mean,
a criticism a lot of people had, right? Not a criticism,
Yeah.
but like they wanted more Zendaya.
yeah, the Zendaya fans. They were like, we've been bamboozled, run amok, led astray. Yeah, I think they're
When
kind
the
of one and the same.
When the Swifties go to see Deadpool 3, because she's supposed to play one of the characters.
Oh, really?
I think so. She's been rumored.
I didn't
It would
know
be funny
Roger
if she
Goodell was producing that movie.
But if she gets done out like Brad Pitt did in Deadpool 2.
Oh,
Like,
God. That
she's
was
in
like
the movie
her
for
in
30 seconds.
that David O. Russell movie that came out with a bunch of all the actors.
Yeah.
She just got thrown in front of a car.
They would get
Yeah, but
so
she's getting set up to have a
pissed.
huge role in Dune too, so I'd be happy with what they're getting.
Oh, yeah. That everybody's saying that she gives the best performance. A lot of the early reviews are commenting on that. She obviously has way more to do. So, like I said, the question saying, will it focus more on Paul's journey or the romance? They're one and the same.
Tough to say though. I didn't read the book.
God, I can't believe this. I can't believe we've already seen this movie. But, well, this one here from Brandon, he asks top 3 movie trilogies. I think we kind of answered that.
Yeah, Toy Story or Rush Hour.
Yeah, I guess no. It's unanswered because we have to figure out which one.
You know, it also is so funny. It's one of the outtakes when they're on the plane and he can't save a filter fish.
Okay. This question here from Nelly. Top 3 Denis Villeneuve movies. For me, it's so easy. It's Incendies, Blade Runner 2049, and Enemy.
Interesting. I agree with Incendies and Blade Runner. I haven't watched Prisoners in a while, but I remember like that definitely being up there for me.
Arrival, Sicario.
Sicario is just it's become like a classic.
Ted's so happy
FX
he's seen those
movie.
3.
That's all I know. That's all I see.
But I feel like Sicario is definitely like the more popular one where like I feel like it's just a great movie that you'll see on TV, you turn it on and you're just watching it for the rest of the night.
I mean, since Incendies, it is just an
For how much you guys
absurd
talk
run.
about it, I feel like me not seeing Blade Runner 2049 is like an injustice to myself. And I hear a lot about it from other people, not just you guys either.
Have you seen Blade Runner?
No.
I feel like you'll like the original Blade Runner more.
How old's the original one?
82?
No
It's
chance.
good, though, dude. It's Ridley Scott, Harrison Ford. It's shot so beautifully.
You're not really selling me.
Well, the only way to sell you on a movie is to tell you we're reviewing it, so...
That's so you want to do a Blade
I'm just
Runner
going to lie
original?
to you, yeah. Yeah, we're doing Blade Runner. I've thought
Oh,
of doing
I might-
that, like saying, oh, we have to review this because of a Patreon request and lying to you guys, but I just can't bring myself to do it.
I'd do it to you if it was reversed. I'd be doing it to you.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't, but I just feel like,
Hey, just know you're benefiting myself. Like you're benefiting me.
sure.
You know.
You know what might be his best movie? Not
Arrival?
Blade Runner. But yeah, Arrival.
Hey, I said Arrival.
We can have
Arrival's
same
the
answers.
one I always forget about. Not to say that it's not great, but I'm like, damn, he did Arrival too. And that movie was
Right, 'cause
nominated
it's
for like a
like-
bunch of Oscars and made a lot of money.
Blade Runner, Arrival, and Incendies. Do I still have your Incendies Blu-ray? I probably do.
I think you do, yeah, because I
Yeah.
didn't even know I had Incendies on. That's how long you've had it. I didn't even know I owned it on Blu-ray.
No, I've had it for a while. I've lent it out.
Using as a dish.
That's insane.
I've lent out your movies. That's how long I've had them for. But no, it's in my on my bookshelf.
Oh, there's a good question here from Matt. Which new addition to the cast are you guys most excited for? Zendaya can be included.
I gotta see the cast. Let me look it up.
I mean, for me, it's easy. It's Christopher Walken as the Emperor.
Yeah,
That is just so fun. Because he's the best, and
Lea
great
Sedol,
casting.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't know how much she's going to. I mean, I know it's 3 hours, so
Austin,
Yeah, no,
she should
was-
get some decent screen time.
he's not really new. though.
Excited to see her.
Yeah, no, really, really. Do you follow that Synesthetic account on Twitter?
Yeah, what do you say? Is it
The horniest
Mummy?
man on Twitter. He just posted her on the red carpet and captioned it "mummy." He went full mask off for his horniness because he'll like
That's cool though.
an actor will be cast in a big role and he'll just post like sexy pictures of that actor or actress, just exploiting the fact that they're trending on Twitter. It's like, oh, Amy
Dude,
Adams was cast in this, and then he's like doing her GQ cover shoot.
Sydney Sweeney has been taking over my timeline.
You know what's been funny too? All the old LeBron posts popping up on people's Explore page. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's like when he's getting a haircut from some Italian guy. He's like, hashtag I told him he looked like George Bush. Hashtag he told me I look like LeBron James.
I just like when people repost his lies from the past.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
That's the one today. It's like I'll come off the bench if it helps the team.
I seen that too.
So I was like, oh, why is he lying?
That was in 2015.
But yeah, Christopher Walken, Lea Seydoux, there's the surprise casting that we won't talk about just yet, just in case some people haven't heard about that. They want to still be surprised.
You
see
say
Austin
it and bleep it
Butler.
out. Oh, so I almost said it because I'm looking at the cast and on Dune 2 online, but there was no.
Yeah, Austin Butler too. He's gonna
Yeah.
play a big role. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. And apparently Tim Blake Nelson has an undisclosed role. So I'm a big Tim Blake Nelson guy.
He seems like a Harkonnen.
Yeah, he's perfect for that world.
Yeah.
Little freak working for the Emperor or something like that.
Dead ass.
You see him?
Little weasel, yeah.
That dude is
He's a
Backstabber
backstabber.
comes out.
He's a
he's
backstabber.
one of the
100%.
most underrated character actors working today in Hollywood. He's so funny as Buster Scruggs.
TBN.
Yeah. And what else? Oh, when he was in Watchmen, he was great in that.
Even in Hulk, he's like funny.
Yeah, he's a wacky guy in Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Love that guy.
He's supposed to come back for the new Captain America.
Oh shit.
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Good movie. It's on Netflix.
It's like an anthology.
Is it a good movie?
Yeah,
It's
it is
like
good.
a compilation of short stories.
Yeah, it's
He's
like
in-
4 short stories.
Okay.
And he is Buster Scruggs. His is the best one because he's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like a gunman with superpowers, essentially. It's like a
Is he-
superhuman cowboy. Just can't
Think
beat
I'd
him.
like it?
Yeah, it's Coen Brothers. You like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's right up your alley.
You ever see the meme with what's
James
his name?
Franco.
James Franco, and he's like about to get hanged. He's like, "Oh, first time."
Yeah.
That's from that.
No, it's not.
Okay.
That just pissed Aaron off so much.
He said it with such confidence.
he did. He's like, no, I know James Franco movies, and that's not from that.
What's it from, Teddy?
Wait, am I bugging right now? I'm not saying anything. I'm not getting clipped.
Wait. Let's hear. What you were gonna say?
I'm not saying it.
Oh, come on.
Isn't it part? I'm not saying it. Parts of the Caribbean.
Yep. Yeah. Fuck. How did I always get those mixed up. You're right, Ted.
That's not Pirates of the Caribbean.
Dun, 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 dun. James
James Franco wasn't in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I mean, he could have been.
Oh, talk about
Not
an all-time underrated trilogy because 2 and 3 are.
You know, I didn't really think of that. Like he could have been.
That
You're
is
telling
true.
me you can't see a. You're telling me you look at that. Like if you look at the meme, you don't think that's a Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
No, because I've seen the actual movie.
But well, let's say you didn't see the movie.
I'd be like, no, because I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean and James Franco wasn't in it.
All right, you're getting me. You can't
All-time
just fucking
great
say-
theme song, Pirates of the Caribbean. All right, this question here from Stone_McCumber.
Terrible ride.
Who or what group would you most want to be a part of in the Dune universe?
Harkonnen,
Why?
because they're running shit
Gross
right now.
and evil.
Yeah, but I want to be on the winning side.
Well, it's between.
I'm
only
not
know
being a
it-
Freeman. No chance. I'm dealing with that.
Yeah, I
Living
feel like
an
you
animal.
complain. You would just complain about sand the whole time.
I complain about a
Why
lot
is there,
more
why
than
is there
just
so much sand?
heat, no water, no food.
Yeah.
if you're born into it, you don't know any better. You know, that's who they are.
Yeah, but I'm not born into it, and I get to pick where I want to go. Do I not?
Oh, I was thinking like it zaps you, you know, like your little sperm, and you know.
Yeah, but you're picking where you want to go. You're telling me from the jump you
Yeah,
want
but
to
you
become
wouldn't
a Fremen?
know from the. Yeah, okay. If we're going that way, then I want to be I don't know, part of the Emperor's court.
What's Caladan like in the summers?
Oh, Caladan looks beautiful.
Not enough lights.
Yeah, I'd like to be the guy who is in charge of Caladan after the Atreides left.
Yeah.
That guy got it. Yeah, he's talk about the best job.
I mean, Benny Gesserit seems like a whole thing.
No, that seems
deal with
miserable.
that.
I'm not trying to go through Benny Gesserit's
Computer,
school.
was it the Guild? That seems...
I couldn't pass. I barely passed high school. I think I'm passing Benny Gesserit school.
Ted as a mentat would be fun. Train his whole life to become a supercomputer, just uses it for gambling.
Do I become the Benny Gesserit though, or do I still have to go through everything? And there's a chance I fail and die.
Oh no, yeah, you have to earn it. You could be a part of the group, but
then no,
you gotta live that life.
I don't have the hook. I ain't getting in.
No, Benny Gesserit, they don't do nepotism. Well, actually, kind of they do.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Harkonnen. Oh, you know what's the Sardaukar.
Oh, okay.
That place looks like depressing as fuck.
The army where they steal children from families and raise them to be soldiers. Fighter, that's actually one thing I didn't like about part one is when Momoa was like, you cross swords with a Sardaukar.
Yeah, you know it. And he fucking waxes like 12 of them.
he mows them down like a fucking buzzsaw.
I think he's just a really nice guy. Because even with the Fremen, it's like, oh, they fight like demons. And like Paul can just beat one of their best guys in 10 seconds.
That's
like insanely fast.
The Paul, man. Don't diminish Paul.
I am diminishing Paul.
Paul worked.
That's another guy, the actor who plays Jamis. You know, not a lot of screen time, but he really makes the most of it. His delivery. He says
it's like I've never been closer to death in my life. And Paul's out here making him yields in 10 seconds, one move.
Even Zendaya talked him up.
She was so cocky.
I'm thinking about becoming lethal with weapons.
Like with axes? Like throwing shit?
Nah, I've been watching this dude on TikTok or YouTube with a bow and arrow. He just like dresses up in his backyard and does trick shots.
I swear to God, if my timeline gets funneled with trick shot bow and arrows, I'm gonna freak out.
Oh no, I've been on it and it's awesome. I'm on the swords now too. I'm learning how to use a lightsaber.
That's one thing I wish I did when I was growing up was martial arts.
Not to become
like Tiger Shulman or something.
Tiger Shulman.
Who's that?
You know, saw those commercials for Tiger Shulman's karate?
Oh, okay. I thought that was, like a guy. Yeah, I was like, this is a big time.
Dude, that's the best. That's the coolest fucking karate name ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who's this guy? Yeah, that's Tiger Shulman.
The Tiger Shulman?
That's a great statement.
That's a guy that beats the fucking piss out of you. Yeah, Tiger Shulman.
A little overweight, too. He's got like
I'm not messing with him.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he could be like the most like unkempt person, like drunk. It's like, who's that? It's like, oh, you don't know who that is? That's Tiger Shulman. It's like, oh, fuck.
Do the Catchphrase Jones crossover.
Every time I think of the bear, like when he was upstage, when it's accepting the Golden Globe or the Emmy, Lionel, like, yo, that's the dude from Loiter Squad.
It feels like they're my friends, like we grew up with them, and I'm just so happy for them. Like Tyler's become like a huge, like global star, and Lionel's an actor.
I feel like I can go up to him on the street and dap him up, and like in my head, being like, "Oh shit, what's up, man? Like, long time no see," even though we've never met.
So they really just like over the last 10 years, they just went from a group of friends, group of kids. Now they're just like really doing well for themselves. It's awesome to see.
It is fucking crazy. Like obviously Tyler, but even Frank Ocean, like people are like begging for new albums. Like had one of the best albums of the past decade. Lionel from the Bear,
and then Earl,
and even like. Yeah, Earl, if you talk to like a real hip hop fan, like they'll like hype him up. What a crew. Our crew fucking sucks compared to that.
And we're coming up on the 10-year mark.
Our crew is garbage.
Well, Teddy's about to get a new promotion. Nash is a pig. Me and Aaron, we've been to TIFF a couple of times.
Yeah. Remember when we saw Dune early, Teddy?
Me and you?
No.
No, Teddy, you weren't there, remember? You had to watch it with the rest of the public. Okay, we'll take a few more questions here. This one here from Eric. I just watched Dune for the first time, and I thought it was ... not good. Am I missing something?
Oof. Yeah, terrible take.
Well, there's
don't-
another question here from Shane. It was like, does Bo regret being too harsh on Dune after he first saw it? And I did. I went from 3.5 to 4. So I think a lot of the criticisms I have the first time around still apply for me. And I imagine those just don't sit they just don't sit well with a lot of people. And it takes
I
them
could
out
see,
of it.
like, if
Well, I
someone
wonder
left,
if that guy read the book. Maybe
Yeah, that's
a little let
interesting.
down from the book.
I could definitely understand watching Dune with somebody and then being like, yeah,
Oh,
not for me, man.
sure. Yeah. No, like my sister and my brother-in-law would absolutely hate Dune. They'd be like, this is a Star Wars ripoff that's just boring.
No chance Elena makes it through the whole movie.
Did they like anything? I feel like most of their opinions that you share are like,
I'm trying to think, what was the last... They didn't like Oppenheimer. Loved Barbie. My brother-in-law, as soon as they did the 2001 bit, he was like, yeah, this movie's for me.
they liked The Favorite though when we saw it, right?
Yeah, they
were
did
with
like The
us?
Favorite. Yeah. They're hard to please.
I'll never forget when you were like, he was like telling you like, he was listening to a podcast and he's like, and you told me, he's like, yeah, Aaron, he always complains about long movies. It's like, does he know short films exist?
That's pretty funny. Yeah, so, I mean, not everybody loves Dune, and even when it came out, it wasn't universally praised. Like, David Ehrlich, biggest critic, probably alive right now. He
What's
didn't
he
like
do?
part 1. What does he do?
Like, I know he's a critic and like, he's good. He's very good. But like, who does he work for? Is he his own guy?
No, he works for IndieWire.
Okay.
He's a chief film critic.
Is that why every IndieWire like tweet I see, article is like, just hates every movie?
Yes. Yeah, no, it's usually, it's so funny because they're always presented like it's the website's opinion. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's usually just him.
That's like
Can
what
you guys hear
Pitchfork
Amelia?
too.
I heard her a little bit. I wasn't sure what that was. So just
Yeah, she's
not too bad.
She's up. She's crying.
He strikes
Oh,
me
no,
as
I
someone
can't
who
do that.
he strikes me as someone who's like, he's not doing it for like, I feel some people like to sniff their own farts, like, oh, I'm just a tough critic. That takes a lot to impress me.
No, he's kind of been consistent
He
with
doesn't-
Villeneuve.
Yeah.
He doesn't really like any of them. So it's just I guess a filmmaker that doesn't really work for him. And a lot of the
Yeah,
same criticisms always apply.
Yeah, he doesn't come off as like he knows something you don't. And he's just smarter than everyone.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't. Because I mean, there are critics that and this is every critic. There's always like a preference. Like if a movie comes out and it's slow and it's about nothing, but it's got beautiful imagery, and I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
Or John Wick.
Yeah. That's courthouse drama. You know, that's 5 stars for me.
Right, exactly. People always have their preferences, and sometimes just a filmmaker is not really gonna work for you.
Unless it's Chicago 7.
But I think how he feels about Dune is how a lot of people feel about it that didn't like it. You know, the criticisms were very consistent. Like, it's either all that stuff worked for you or it didn't. It's not like there are varying levels of Dune dissent. It's just kind of, this is boring and the characters are boring. I mean, that is, like I said, that's still a criticism I have, is that it's a depressing story. And it is thought-provoking, and the politics, you know, they mirror our own world. So it's not going to be like this Star Wars adventure movie. But there is some colorfulness that I think is absent, that is present in the book, that the movie really could have used just around the edges. And once again, to just keep hammering this home, the character of Gurney Halleck, you get a lot of the humor and the humanity of the book in that character. And that being absent, to me, is just, for someone who has read the book, is just so glaring. It's like, why wouldn't you at least do this? And even like the Baron is so much more silly in the book. And here he's just disgusting, abhorrent beast of a man. In the book, he's way more flamboyant.
How's he fly?
So that's essentially like, it's like a brace, right? It's like a piece of technology that's just holding him up, and it's just really big. So he's not floating. It's like attached to his feet, and it just can hold him up.
Damn. Probably takes a fucking
My Arrakis.
probably burning gallons of diesel trying to pick that boy up.
Oh boy, yeah.
Fucking destroying the ozone layer.
I don't know why it's always so funny when you just see him in the corner. of the ceiling. He looks like a little baby. This question here from Jordan. If Timothée Chalamet didn't play Paul, who else would you have liked to see in the role?
Tom Holland.
He didn't do it on purpose, so it's...
I know, yeah, it's just funny how that's always the guy. It's either Chalamet or Tom Holland.
So like Paul is that type of guy. Like Chalamet build, and okay, so someone like that. I don't know, Scarlett Gismondo.
Yeah, like some of the, you know who would have been a good Paul?
Butler?
The actor who plays Jojen in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I think that could have. He's much older than he looks now. Thomas Brody Sangster. He's actually 3 years older than us, which is crazy. But even the kid who played Jesse Plemons' son in The Power of the Dog.
Okay.
He's got a Paul vibe to him.
Okay, so he's a scrawny little fella.
Yeah, no, they kind of describe him in the book. Yeah, he's very skinny. He's just a kid.
Yeah.
Just a baby. All right, last question here. This one's from Alex Glaneville. Can Aaron convince Bo to watch One Piece?
I don't know. It's a commitment. I don't know if you're up for because the thing with One Piece is I'm okay with watching it and for like that just being the only thing I watch for months. Where I feel like you would just be too, want to experience other things as well.
Yeah, no, you kind of nailed it. The anime binge has been, and I'm so behind on other animes. I mean, there's no convincing. I want to watch One Piece. Everything I hear about it makes it sound like it's literally the best anime of all time. And eventually I think I will get around to it. So there's no convincing. It's just a matter of...
If you're like down for a slow and steady approach, I think that'll be the best bet. But...
yeah, and everybody tells me to just skip the filler. Are you skipping filler?
It depends. Like, some of them are so placed in a position where it's like, you have so much momentum, and then you're just going to drop filler. So I would skip something like that, where if I'm like really itching to really get on with it. And there's some of them are like Elseworlds, where they're not even within the world of One Piece. That's just like the same characters, but like a fun little fun little story that has nothing to do with that world or anything. So I skip those.
So it lives up to the hype for you?
Yeah, I think it's obviously I'm not finished yet, but at its peak, like when it's really rolling, it's fucking awesome.
And apparently you haven't even hit like not to say that the rest isn't good, but like the real good shit.
Well, I've looked up like where arcs are the best. So I think I've gotten like Water 7 and like Ennis Lobby. That's like a big one. That's like one of the top arcs, and I finished that, and that was fucking incredible. But there's still a couple more that like people think hold as to be like the top of the top that I'm waiting for.
Ted, you all right?
You hear that? No, it's...
Oh, that's Aaron?
Yeah, they're doing construction.
Okay,
so
we're going to wrap it up.
Shit
anyway.
in the dumpster. Yeah.
I got construction at my house, too.
All right, guys, that does it for this episode of Nerd Soup. Thank you for joining us on our Dune Revisited. And as we said, tomorrow we'll be dropping our review of Dune Part 2. So please be on the lookout for that. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And we will be back very shortly.
Wait,
Paul Walter Hauser.
Wait. Hold on. You drop... Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Continue.
Timeline's got you fucked up, right? Yeah.
This is getting dropped later, right?
We're doing a little movie magic.
Okay. All right.
Technically,
bye.
It's Monday.
All right. I'm an idiot. I gotta hit leave?
No, don't do that yet.
Wow, that was probably our best review yet. Hey guys, Aaron the Nerd Soup Monkey here with a brief shameless plug before we end the video. Do you ever feel like you don't have an adequate amount of nerd soup in your life? Like you're going to bed hungry and yearning for the nonsensical yet entertaining nutrients our podcasts provide? Well, we've come up with the perfect solution. The Nerd Soup Fan Question Podcasts, exclusively available to our Patreon supporters. You can sign up now by visiting patreon.com/nerdsoup, and for the price of only $1 per month, you'll receive exclusive access to our weekly podcast where we answer your questions that don't make it to the main show. And while you're there, you can check out the other rewards we offer to our patrons, like stickers, mugs, t-shirts, behind-the-scenes footage, and appearing in the credits at the end of our videos. And that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. Roll the names of the nerds who make Nerd Soup possible. The reason why the crypto crash didn't send our lives spiraling down a black hole of no return. Alright, I'll stop talking so you can listen to this jazzy-ass music while checking if Bo spelt your name wrong in the credits.